Hi buddies, hope you're doing fine. இந்த வீடியோவில் 2022 கண்டக்ட் பண்ண PGTRB English question answers தான் வந்து பார்க்க போகிறோம். So, if you are ready, let's get started. First question, the extract, some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed and some few to be chewed and digested is from Of Studies. Who has been happily called the poet's poet? Spenser. Duvaisa sends the dragon to attack the knight. Who is the Lord of Pallet in the prologue to the Canterbury Tales? A Muslim. Bacon's Of Adversity cites Seneca's high and too high sayings. Spenser's Bartholomew is a marriage celebration honoring the double weddings of the two daughters of Earl of Worcester. Who warned Alexander Pope not to tamper the earlier version of The Rape of the Lock? Addison. Who was called as the great champ of literature by Smollett? Johnson. Stand still, yet we will make him run is the concluding line of which poem? To his coy mistress. Donne often borrows his images from which branch of subject? Old astronomy. My vegetable love should grow vaster than empires and more slow. The above lines are from To his coy mistress. We would sit down and think which way to walk and pass our long love's day, thou by the Indian side. Choose the Indian river mentioned in the poem, Ganges. The poem The Rape of the Lock was based on and actually even recounted to Pope by John Carroll. In George Herbert's The Pulley, the poet uses pulley as a conceit to depict humanity's restless nature. In his poems, Herbert reminds us that the beauty of the world cannot last, decay and death are inevitable. Samson in Milton's Samson Agonistes is visited by a number of persons. Who is the first visitor? His father Manoah. Or stain her honor or her new brocade. This line from Pope's The Rape of the Lock is an example of zeugma. The child is the father of the man. In which poem of Wordsworth does this line occur? Ode to Intimations of Immortality. Who said, if poetry comes not as naturally as the leaves to a tree, it had better not come at all? Keats. In the poem Tintern Abbey, with whom does Wordsworth take on a walk near the river Wye? His sister. William Hazlitt in his essay My First Acquaintance with Poets speaks about Coleridge. What is the name of the great-grandmother referred in Dream Children, a Reverie? Mary Field. The Burial of the Dead as a section centers around the theme of reversal. Spring rhythm and the word inscape was used by Gerard Manley Hopkins in The Wreck of the Deutschland. Browning's Andrea del Sarto is a dramatic monologue with an obscure language. Who describes death in life as the basic theme of the poem, The Wasteland? F.R. Lewis. Which of the following poet is known as war poet? Wilfred Owen. In the poem Byzantium, the speaker talks about a miracle. What is it? A golden bird on a golden tree. As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free. This final couplet in the epilogue of the play, The Tempest, makes it clear that forgiveness frees us. In how many days does the events in Macbeth take place? 9 days. How many years prior was Prospero ousted from his dukedom along with his daughter? 12 years. Remember, I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made no mistakings, served without grudge or grumblings. Whose words are these? Ariel. And our little life is rounded with a sleep. Identify the correct altitude of Prospero with reference to the context. Pain recognition. Which witch announced, a drum, Macbeth doth come. Third witch. What is the theme of Sylvia Plath's poem Daddy? Love, hatred and loss. C symbolizes in the poem Out of the Cradle, endlessly rocking, motherhood. The chariot in Because I Could Not Stop for Death passes before a house. What is the house? Tomb. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his spines. I tell him, mending wall. Who is Joe DiMaggio? Who Santiago thinks of in The Old Man and the Sea? Baseball player. Geetanjali means offering of songs. Mukta Dara critiques destructive uses of science and nationalism. I am here to sing the songs in this hall of thine. I have a corner seat. What mode of worship does the poet select here? Music. The central idea of Sri Aurobindo's poem thought the Paraclete is transformation in self. What is the backdrop of Guru Charan Das Laran Sahib, 19th century India? Who is the protagonist of A Handful of Rice? Ravi. What is IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet? Which play of Harold Pinter follows the traditions of absurdism, realism, English comic review, and the grotesque surrealism of Franz Kafka? The Birthday Party. Whose fiction has been associated with the narrative device called stream of consciousness? James Joyce. What is considered a fundamental feature of romantic poetry? The desire for freedom. Which of the following kinds of criticism owes more to Carl Jung? Myth criticism. The Playboy of the Western World by J.M. Sinch was published in the year 1907. A Western language is also called Zend. The word vicar comes to English language from French. British English word scone is called biscuit in American English. The Indo-European broke up into several different dialects mainly on geographical basis. Katie from the Old French had become part of the vocabulary of English soon after 1100 and meant prisoner. S.T. Coleridge's Biographia Literaria ch. 17 takes up the issues of poetic diction and examines Wordsworth's views on poetry. I.A. Richards calls the harmonized state the balancing of conflicting impulses as synesthesis. By the unity of time, Dryden refers to the time limit of 24 hours. Which of the following term is used by T.S. Eliot in his famous essay, The Metaphysical Poets? Dissociation of sensibility. Which one of the following is not one of the four kinds of meaning? Emotion. The term hamartia refers to tragic flaw. Was this the phase that launched 1,000 ships and burned the topless towers of Ilium? Ilium refers to Troy. Prince of Parma was the leader of Spanish forces occupying the Netherlands. In The Alchemist, Epicure is the target of the crooks. Who speaks the following in the play The Spanish Tragedy? Fair worthy son, not conquered but betrayed. Hernimo. Identify the author who does not belong to the University Wits. Congreve. Mr. Heathcliff appears in the novel of Emily Bronte. In the novel Mansfield Park is the name of a house. Whose reign does Shelley in his A Defense of Poetry call a period of gross degradation of the drama? Charles II. Whose arrival did break the quiet life of Emma and Elizabeth, who enjoy each other's company with an increasing affection, of their brother Robert and his pert and conceited wife? Wuthering Heights is a novel of extraordinary power, but it's a book not to be read with pleasure. The first picture of the Heights is revolting from its brutal life. The wild stories and the rugged characters of Yorkshire seem to be almost beyond the bounds of belief. Who said? Who Walker. Which one of the following novels is considered Jane Austen's best and brilliant work as the expression of an artist at the height of her powers? Emma. To the Lighthouse is novel full of symbolism. So total 150 questions. So in the video 75 questions தான் வந்து நம்ம கவர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். So remaining questions upcoming videosல வந்து பார்க்கலாம். And that's all about this video. Hope this video will be useful one. And thank you so much for watching this video till end. If you're having any suggestion, let me know in the comment section. We'll see you in next video. Tada, bye bye.